They claim their personal stories meant to help others were used to profit one Utah woman.
You've hurt enough people, and it's time to stop.
The CEO of an anti-human trafficking organization faces 32 felony charges, including fraud, forgery, and theft. Will she be released on bail? I'll have the judge's decision.
It was a nice day today, but how long will this beautiful weather last? Changes are coming.
As a federal government shutdown looms, the state of Utah wants to keep all 5 national parks open.
There are entire communities that dry up if this doesn't happen.
But who will pay for it in the end?
A huge investment in Salt Lake County's most vulnerable, a nearly $3 million donation, is going to help homeless youth.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
We don't believe in rescuing. We believe in exit strategies and exit planning. Aligning them with mentors, crisis counselors, therapists that can walk that road with them is huge.
She has used the cloak of charity work to defraud dozens of people. And the far-reaching consequences of what she's done, it's life-ruining. She's destroyed lives.
The founder and CEO of an anti-human trafficking organization went before a Provo judge today, hoping to be released on bail.
Candice Rivera was arrested last week and faces a total of 32 felony charges, including fraud, theft, and forgery.
Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser has the judge's decision on bail and victim reaction.
Which is State versus Laird.
She wasn't who I thought she was, that there was a whole background that I had no idea about.
I just don't want people to be silent anymore.
The alleged victims of Exodus founder Candice Rivera hug each other close and wipe away tears outside a Provo courtroom.
We were exploited for our experiences and our stories to raise funds. Funds that I didn't know didn't go to the places we were telling people they were supposed to go.
That's Felicia, one of the volunteers for Rivera's anti-human trafficking organization, Exodus.
In this case,
According to the Attorney General's office, Rivera, quote, made false representations to donors who gave money to support Exodus and instead allegedly used the money on herself.
I can't say that I felt a whole lot of anything other than you are exactly where you need to be. You've hurt enough people, and it's time to stop.
The allegations are all financial.
Rivera appeared before the judge Tuesday afternoon. Her lawyer argued she be released on bail.
These allegations don't appear to be a danger to anybody. No one's physical safety is put at risk.
Attorneys with the state of Utah told the judge Rivera is not to be trusted.
it goes from stranger to friend. And everything in between. There's no one that she hasn't or won't take advantage of.
In the end, Judge Christine Johnson deemed Rivera should stay behind bars and was denied bail.
What I see is a pattern of criminal activity and a likelihood that she would continue to pile up additional financial crimes while out on release.
The organization is based out of Lehigh and, according to arrest documents, raised over $1.6 million since it was founded just 3 years ago. Reporting in front of the 4th District Courthouse, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah. Just who is Candice Rivera? Let's take an in-depth look. We know she's 37 years old. She does have 3 websites to her name.
But 2 of them are not operational, those being joinexodus.org and a website for CR House and Company. A personal website for her, CandiceRivera.com, is still up and running. That website says she's a single mother of 2. And in addition to being in charge of Exodus, she was a member of a collaborative task force with the United Nations with a special interest in refugee and exploitation care.
She has also given expert insight to Fox 13 News on past reports, including one filed this past February about Operation Technical Foul. That was a sting operation spearheaded by the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office and the FBI during the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Arresting documents reveal she used to be employed at University of Utah Hospital from 2011 to 2012 as a psychiatric technician, and that she was terminated from that position. Those documents also claim that Rivera told someone she worked as a registered nurse at the Veterans Affairs Hospital in Salt Lake City, but authorities never found any records to confirm that claim.
We're continuing to track this story every step of the way. Stay with Fox 13 News for the latest updates, both on air and online at fox13now.com.
In southern Utah, a man previously reported as missing in St. George is now in police custody. Arresting documents indicate 18-year-old Spencer Jinner showed up at a behavioral health facility on Hidden Valley Drive just before 5 p.m. yesterday. He allegedly pulled a knife and tried to kidnap a patient. The staff eventually was able to get the knife away from him and take him to a nearby gas station where police took him into custody. He's being held without bail.
A woman is now in jail after police say she stabbed a man giving her a ride in Spanish Fork Canyon. 32-year-old Linda Harmon faces aggravated assault charges. According to police, she told them that she was trying to hitch a ride to Grand Junction, Colorado, alleging the victim began driving in the opposite direction, threatening to kill her if she ran away. However, the victim told police that Harmon said she was headed to Salt Lake City, entering an address into his GPS, saying she attacked him unprovoked as they were leaving a rest stop. Harmon later told police she was hearing voices when she attacked. She is currently being held without bail and is already on supervised probation in Colorado. Most of the remaining staff at the Utah Pride Center are now facing furloughs.
Our content partners at the Salt Lake Tribune report just last month they let 7 of 19 employees go. While it's unclear how many employees were let go this time, a former employee says they and the majority of the remaining staff were furloughed on Friday. This comes after the center temporarily shut its doors in August due to what the LGBTQ plus organization called massive financial turmoil. Leaders previously said the center would be closed until October 1st. Well, the federal government is making a huge investment in Salt Lake County's youth.
Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree shows us how millions of dollars could keep young people on their feet with a roof over their heads.
This is where homelessness begins. And if you can't stop it at the roots, it's too late.
As someone who experienced homelessness at the age of 18, Cameron Thompson says youth homelessness is an issue that's not always seen.
A lot of the times they are sleeping in their cars or sleeping on a friend's couch, so you will not see a lot of them.
Salt Lake County's Youth Action Board recently received a $2.7 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development through the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program.
The vouchers that we will be getting from this grant may be the very definition of if they are homeless or if they are homed.
The first thing the Youth Action Board will do is conduct a needs assessment to figure out where the grant money is most needed right now.
Our youth are very vulnerable, and it's something that we don't really talk about. We don't hear stories, right? So we are here to create that youth voice for the ones who don't have a voice for themselves.
Esau Burke and Megan Martinez, also survivors of youth homelessness, say the specific issues the Youth Action Board will be addressing include housing and resources for teen mothers and recruiting more lived experts to help out.
It was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. To be in a shelter and on my car on the streets, right? You as a youth don't really know what to do. You don't know where to go, right? If you don't have work experience, it's not like you can go get a job and start making money.
In South Salt Lake, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Okay, if we can bottle today and sell it.
You were saying it was too hot out there.
No, well, it was. It was nice and warm, but I tell you, did we have any clouds? I don't think we did. Did we? At any point?
Might have helped a little bit, huh?
Mostly sunny, and you know what, Bob, if you like today,
yeah?
You want to pay me $100, and I'll go ahead and I'll repeat it tomorrow.
Just $100?
Just
that's
$100,
all?
The low
price. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
My wallet out right now.
Yeah.
You
Do you accept coupons?
Yeah, small unmarked bills by chance.
And if you like it to be like 5 to 10 degrees cooler, for $100, I can give that to you on Thursday and Friday.
What a deal!
And if you like 60s, how about Sunday? $100. It's a low price.
You do it all. You've just confirmed you
My
can do
goodness.
it all. Al.
We knew you were our friend.
Yes, thank you. We've had it all over the last 7 days also. An average high this time of year is 76 degrees, in case you're a little disoriented in what's typical for this time of year. So we did have the 60s last Thursday, Friday. We had the 70s on Saturday, and then we've been in the 80s since then. Today we made it to 86 here in Salt Lake City. We have cooled into the 70s for Salt Lake right now, low 70s right now, 72 degrees. About 70 for Ogden, Provo right now, and St. George currently 78 degrees. Cedar City has cooled to 61. You'll drop likely into the upper 40s for tomorrow morning. And as Bob mentioned, under mostly sunny sky today and mostly clear sky tonight also. For Salt Lake City over the next couple of hours, we will drop close to 60 degrees as you wake up tomorrow morning. And then, as I mentioned, we do have a cool down coming this weekend. Whether you want it or not, we've got some cooler weather on the way, along with some increased chances for showers and thunderstorms. More on that coming up.
Rain or shine, we want to ride.
After months on the picket lines, a major development that could mean the return of your favorite TV shows and movies. We'll break down the new deal just agreed upon that will end the Hollywood writers' strike.
Everything lined up for it to happen. Everything from us leaving early to the storm kicking in to me being at the boat ramp in my kayak when it happened.
More than a year after a Utah man saved a 9-year-old boy from drowning, he's getting a special honor. He reflects on the rescue, plus an update on how that boy is doing now.
TVU's Jane Hedegren ran the fastest 5K in the history of girls cross country. She'll tell us what inspired her coming up.
Every day we are getting closer to the general election, and tonight the residents of West Side, they got to hear from the Salt Lake City mayoral candidates. This in a forum sponsored by the West Side Coalition, the League of Women Voters of Salt Lake, and moderated by our own Ben Winslow. The candidates, Michael Valentine, Aaron Mendenhall, and Rocky Anderson, answered community-submitted questions.
I looked online, the city's website, no shelter for any of the unsheltered members of our community. And that's because of a lack of attention and planning.
I mentioned homelessness, I mentioned the Great Salt Lake, but I really think corruption is the #1 issue. And we all need a city government. We need a government on every level that works for us, that is accountable, that's transparent.
A mayor should take the challenge of girls any day, because that means new revenue, more culture and diversity, and more opportunities. But it's how we grow that matters. That's part of why I ran for mayor.
The Salt Lake City Council has decided to utilize ranked choice voting this year, meaning there was no summer primary. All the candidates will appear together on the ballot this fall, and voters will prioritize them to select a winner.
A traveler is lucky to be alive after suffering a heart attack at the Salt Lake International Airport. Peter and Andrew Wall were preparing to fly back to Florida after visiting Park City. Peter had just returned to the waiting area after using the restroom when he slumped over in his wheelchair. 2 doctors from New Hampshire and Georgia and a nurse from here in Utah happened to be nearby and immediately stepped in to keep him alive until paramedics arrived.
I remember Dr. Shukla saying, I don't think we have a pulse. So I instinctively just jumped in, started doing chest compressions.
We were asking for the right things, and it was run like a pit crew, even though it was a bunch of total strangers.
Honestly, the team did not miss a beat. There was a line of people waiting to give chest compressions. When one person tired, we would just swap them out.
Truly remarkable. The 3 are grateful they were able to perform CPR immediately, saving Peter's life.
A Camas man is now a Carnegie Medal Award recipient. That's an award given to individuals who risk their own life to an extraordinary degree, all to save or attempt to save the life of another person.
Fox 13 News reporter Darian DeBrule shows us how the story we first reported in August of last year is now coming full circle.
Joe Donnell is a retired park ranger, an outdoorsman, and now a Carnegie Medal Award hero.
He definitely deserves every award that he can get. For going down as many times as he did to save Paxton was more than anybody could have asked for him in that water, the temperature.
On August 22, 2022, Joe saved a 9-year-old boy named Paxton from drowning after the boy was trapped in a sinking truck at Smith and Morehouse Reservoir.
There was 3 kids in the truck. They were able to get 2 of them out before the truck sank. Once I discovered that there was a 3rd person in the truck, and they told me that the rear passenger door was open and that's where he would be. So I jumped out of my kayak, my inflatable life jacket blew up, so I had to take it off. And then I just started diving.
After multiple dive attempts, the former ice water rescue specialist finally found Paxton.
For several days, I didn't know what the outcome was going to be, and I was really concerned that he wouldn't survive, because in my career, I had a lot of people that did not survive.
The now 10-year-old spent 10 days in the hospital. A little over a year later, Paxton's aunt, Kelly Carpenter, says he's back to himself.
Paxton's been doing really well. He loves to play football and hang out with all of his brothers and cousins and be a normal average boy. He's got a little bit of nerve issues with his feet and stuff, but other than that, he's great. And he loves being outdoors, camping, everything. Still likes to swim, huh, bud?
Bonded by an unforgettable event, Joe and his family are still a part of Paxton's life.
We've had Thanksgiving together, we've done Christmas presents.
They're like family,
really good, yeah.
really. Yeah, just that connection we have.
Paxton does have some memories of that August date, but right now, all he's thinking about is his football game this weekend.
Play Skyline this week, huh, buddy?
Yep.
What are you most looking forward to in that game?
The win.
Everything lined up for it to happen. Everything from us leaving early to the storm kicking in, to me being at the boat ramp in my kayak when it happened. It just was meant to be.
Joe's our hero. He saved Paxton and kept our family whole.
Darian DeBrule, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Wow.
I remember when that happened.
Yes,
and
so
it
do
was
I.
so miraculous.
And dramatic.
Everything that fell into place, as Jim was saying, yeah.
And little Paxton is still with us to play football.
I
this
love
weekend.
hearing these happy updates.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
Wonderful.
Well, we're going to have some warm weather over the next couple of days. The rest of the work week is looking really good. And then come later Saturday into Sunday, we're going to be cooling down quite a bit. Today we made it into the mid 80s though. It was above average by about 10 degrees. Normally we're mid to upper 70s, so we are definitely seeing above average temperatures today and again tomorrow, and then we are going to eventually cool. But we've also been getting some fantastic pictures from our higher elevations. Some of our best fall drives right now. Trappers Loop, this picture coming in from Chris Williams. Thank you for sharing this. So Morgan and Weber counties just looking stunning. For Salt Lake City, you can start to see those mountains with the colors changing even from the Salt Lake Valley, but along the Wasatch back right now, Heber Valley, that is where the colors are fantastic currently. 72 degrees in Salt Lake City. You'll have a dry commute tomorrow morning. It'll be about 60 degrees as you head out the door for work and school tomorrow morning, and then leaving work and school tomorrow about 80 degrees with plenty of sunshine. So we're going to have another warm and slightly breezy day. We will see our wind tomorrow about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We're under clear sky tonight for the Wasatch Front. Clear to mostly clear tonight. A fantastic start tomorrow, and then it will become warm with a breeze. And again, another day with moderate air quality. Overnight temperatures around 60 to 70 degrees at 10 o'clock. Into tomorrow morning, we will see those temperatures dropping to about 50 to 60 for much of the state. So we're going to have a cool-ish start depending on where you are. You'll be in the 40s for Logan and Park City and Evanston. For Vernal, same thing. 40s for Richfield, about 50 for Price tomorrow morning, and for St. George near 60 degrees. Then tomorrow, wind will be about 10 to 20 miles per hour. A slight breeze, probably going to feel nice with the warm temps. Up towards Evanston, closer to 25 to 30 miles per hour. For the Wasatch Front tomorrow, we will rise into the mid 80s after lunchtime, but the first half of your day, 60s and 70s. St. George, first half of your day, also 60s and 70s, may even drop into the upper 50s for some areas. Highs tomorrow, quite the swing then into the 90s. So next couple of days, we're going to continue with the hot temps tomorrow. We'll see a little bit of relief for Thursday, Friday, and then we're going to cool some more this weekend. And we're going to pretty much keep things dry for you over the next couple of days as we look at Futurecast through Thursday morning, things are going to be mostly clear here across Utah. St. George around 90 through Friday, 80 on Saturday, mid-60s on Sunday with some showers, and then back into the 70s next week. For Salt Lake City, we are going to see a little bit of a more dramatic cool down, 20-degree difference compared to tomorrow. So 85 tomorrow, mid-60s on Sunday, with some chances for showers and thunderstorms this weekend. We'll break down those storm chances coming up in your Super 7-day forecast. We'll be right back.
After 5 months, the strike by Hollywood screenwriters will end just after midnight tonight.
Well, that's coming up. The governing boards of the eastern and western branches of the Writers Guild of America both voted to accept a deal for a new contract agreement with studios. Writers will get a pay bump, greater health and pension benefits, new foreign streaming residuals, and viewership-based streaming bonuses. There is also an assurance against the usage of artificial intelligence, which was a hot topic during the strike. There are currently no negotiations set to end the actors' strike.
President Biden made history today in Michigan, becoming the first sitting president to walk the picket line with striking auto workers. Strikers are calling for better benefits and increased pay. Auto companies say their demands are just too much. The United Auto Workers strike is inching closer to the 2-week mark, with only Ford having slight progress in the discussions. Talks with GM and Stellantis have also not gone any further, according to the UAW's president.
A judge has ruled that former President Donald Trump defrauded banks and insurers for years while he was building his real estate empire. The ruling is from a civil lawsuit brought by New York's Attorney General. The judge says Trump and his company provided false financial statements for roughly a decade in order to get more favorable loans and insurance deals. The judge is ordering that some of Trump's business licenses be taken away, making it harder to do business in New York. Trump has long said he did nothing wrong.
An 18-year-old Utah mom arrested for allegedly murdering her own newborn child. Coming up, we'll show you where she told investigators she left its body.
Utah's governor is in negotiations to keep the national parks open in the event of a government shutdown.
We're getting closer to Friday night when the Utes and Cougars will both be on the field. We'll hear from both teams about what's special about this week.
Tonight, an 18-year-old woman is in jail accused of killing her 1-month-old baby boy.
Police say after the infant's death, Estrella Meza Ojeda disposed of his body on the side of I-80 in Parleys Canyon. Police believe this was premeditated because of several Google searches they found on Ojeda's phone. One asked the question, "How much time will I serve in prison for killing my baby?" And "garbage dumps near me."
Fox 13 News reporter Lucy Nelson takes a closer look at this horrific case. And we do want to warn you, some of the details we're about to share may be disturbing for some viewers.
Police began investigating Ojeda shortly after she and her newborn were released from the hospital in late August. According to the police report, her baby was born premature and medically required oxygen to survive. Just a few days after they returned home to her apartment complex in Heber City, a neighbor called 911 saying the baby wasn't breathing. Hospital staff says when Ojeda arrived at the hospital, she didn't have the essential oxygen devices for the child. The child survived, but the staff had to remind Ojeda the devices were vital for her son's survival. Police would later say they believe the incident was an attempt to take the child's life. In the next 2 weeks, law enforcement conducted a welfare check due to Ojeda missing an appointment for her child, and they later showed up again for a child abuse and neglect report. Eventually, Ojeda would tell investigators she had a friend take the baby to Mexico because she did not want the child anymore and wanted to go back to work. After more warrants were obtained, police say she admitted that her son died on September 10th while in the car when she didn't put oxygen on him, and that she wrapped him in a blanket and disposed of his body in the Parleys Canyon area. During a search of the location, one officer spotted a piece of fabric on the ground. Police say when Ojeda saw the fabric, she began to sob. Officers say due to the lack of lighting and the possibility an animal could have removed the body, they would continue to search in the daylight with cadaver dogs.
That was Saturday. I reached out to Wasatch County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Carrie Diggs several times for an update on the search via phone and via email, but have not heard back. Meanwhile, Ojeda is in Wasatch County Jail without a bond. In Salt Lake County, Lucy Nelson, Fox 13 News, Utah.
I'm very hopeful that that will happen.
The state of Utah is actively negotiating with the federal government to help keep Utah's mighty 5 national parks open in a government shutdown.
Should that shutdown actually happen. Governor Cox says he has people in Washington, D.C. right now discussing how to avoid a multi-billion-dollar hit to our economy.
Fox 13 News political reporter Ben Winslow has the story from Utah's Capitol Hill.
Governor Spencer Cox is offering to spend state money to keep Utah's national parks open in the event of a government shutdown. But in a letter shared with Fox 13 News, he warns the federal government it's a loan and not a gift.
We're very optimistic about our ability to keep the parks open, not so optimistic about the federal government staying open.
Anticipating a federal government shutdown, Governor Spencer Cox is moving ahead with plans to keep Utah's national parks open, with the state stepping in to fund them. The governor has asked Interior Secretary Deb Haaland to designate national park employees as essential workers. It would allow the parks to remain open.
I would be surprised if they rejected that. I think it would be very unpopular of them to reject it.
In a letter from the governor to the Interior Secretary that was shared with Fox 13 News, he points out national parks are big business in Utah, with $2.6 billion in visitor spending. Utah is also among the top 3 states in the nation for jobs supported by the parks.
There are entire communities that dry up if this doesn't happen. So it's not just 1 or 2 jobs, it's literally entire communities.
It's not the first time the state has paid millions of dollars to keep the parks open, but we've never been repaid by the federal government for it. In his letter, the governor asks to take the money Utah is owed from the 2013 shutdown and put it to this latest one. But he warns the Interior Secretary we expect to be reimbursed.
Makes sense that if we're paying for the employees and to keep it open, that they would share those gate receipts with us.
At a tourism industry conference in St. George, communities are bracing for a shutdown, but tourism leaders are optimistic the state will step in.
We have visitors that have been planning the trip of a lifetime. We're projecting 1 million visitors at our national parks in October. Some of them are coming internationally. They may have been planning and saving for this for years. And so we've just got to do right by them to make sure they have some semblance of the experience that they came here for.
They're preparing to let visitors know about any impacts from a shutdown and let them know Utah remains open.
The most important thing for us in the visitor economy is that we do right by our visitors and we do right by our local communities.
Now, if a deal is not reached anytime soon in D.C., the federal government is scheduled to shut down this weekend. On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox welcomed a controversial world leader to Utah today. Hungarian President Novak is a close ally of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Orban has led the country toward policies against LGBTQ people, and he's delivered recent speeches against diversity and the so-called mixing of races. The governor and president did not answer media questions, but instead offered this quote.
Her message is one about families and how to strengthen families. And Utah is the most family-friendly state in the United States. That's why she chose to come here.
In her previous position as Minister of Family Affairs in Hungary, Human Rights Watch reports Novak advised women against the misguided fight for emancipation. They report that she said women should not expect the same pay as men.
Coming up, the second debate between Republicans running for president next year is taking place tomorrow. We'll have a preview.
We made it to 86 degrees here in Salt Lake City today. That is 10 degrees above normal. How long will the warm weather last? Coming up.
Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, we're seeing another case of looting, this time in Philadelphia. Authorities say a large group of people looted several stores tonight. Police say members of the group smashed windows and stole shoes from a Foot Locker store. They allegedly assaulted a security guard at the store. Witnesses say the thieves were carrying large plastic bags and filled them with merchandise. The group also stole items from a nearby Apple store. So far, no word on whether police have anyone in custody. While officials have not specified what prompted the looting, we do know charges were dismissed today against the Philadelphia police officer who fatally shot 27-year-old Eddie Irizarry during a traffic stop last month.
Voters will have yet another chance to listen to the Republican presidential hopeful debate each other tomorrow night. Only this time it will be on a less crowded stage.
Fox Business News and Univision will host the second GOP debate tomorrow in Simi Valley, California. Scripps News national correspondent James Packard has a preview.
Well, 7 candidates are going to take the stage in Simi Valley, California, instead of the 8 we saw at the first debate. This time, Asa Hutchinson, the former governor of Arkansas, not making the cut, with a higher 3% needed in several polls and more donors needed as well to make the stage. Donald Trump, of course, will not be there, and he is taking home a majority of the support among Republican likely voters right now in this primary at 58%, according to a recent Monmouth University poll. So these candidates have a lot of work to do if they hope to knock him off of that top spot. And a lot of analysts believe that's all but impossible at this stage, given his support among likely voters in the Republican base. Nonetheless, the likes of Nikki Haley and Governor Ron DeSantis and Tim Scott and Doug Burgum, the current governor of North Dakota, and others will try to do that at this debate. But if you're watching, these analysts believe that this is really more a moment about trying to vie for that vice presidential ticket spot than trying to be the actual nominee.
I think it's too late for them to break away. I don't think any of them would come across as genuine now if suddenly, they did a 180 and started sort of, disagreeing with Trump's positions and talking about, that he's not the right person for the nomination. None of them are really standing on sort of their own positions. Everything, they're either sort of distancing themselves from just not having to openly criticize Trump, which is not the same thing as, sort of taking a step away from him, or they're throwing everything on the Democrats.
At the same time, this comes as a debate has just been announced, a one-on-one between Governor Ron DeSantis and the governor here in California, Gavin Newsom. That's set to come at the end of November. A lot of political observers watching that one with a keen eye. That may be the more ideological debate to watch than the one for the Republican primary right now. It all starts at 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday evening here in Simi Valley, California. In Los Angeles, James Packard, Scripps News.
A beloved Utah County mechanic and mentor helps teens build demolition derby cars from the ground up. Next, watch as Fox 13 News honors him and his work with a Dream Team surprise.
Utah and BYU will need to play better on offense if they expect to win on Friday. We'll hear from the Utes and Cougars. And Timpview Jane Hendrickson is one of the elite high school runners in the country. She'll tell us what empowers her. Coming up in sports.
Welcome back, everyone. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources is asking hunters to help them test animals for chronic wasting disease. They're setting up checkpoints all across the state where hunters can bring their harvested deer to be tested. The chronic wasting disease affects deer, elk, and moose. It's related to mad cow disease. And while risks of animal to human transmission are low, the CDC does recommend that you never eat infected meat. The full list of testing sites can be found at wildlife.utah.gov.
This was at Rockport Reservoir in Summit County today, where the DWR stocked 6,000 rainbow trout, so you should be able to catch at least one of them. The fish were hatched at a DWR facility in Camas and range between 8 and 12 inches long, so it's going to be worth your while to try to catch them. The agency stocks fish in various reservoirs around the state for recreational fishing. As the number of trade workers grows smaller day by day, a Utah County mechanic is helping to teach those around him how to build, maintain, and fix cars.
And he's also teaching them how to destroy them with style. Fox 13 News anchor Amy Nay and the Fox 13 Dream Team are honored to recognize Tyler Warren.
On a stormy day in West Jordan, the Wrecked Neck Demolition Derby team hits the dirt. The team's founder, Tyler Warner, a veteran and mechanic, runs a nonprofit that mentors students and teaches them how to build demolition cars from the ground up.
It's an opportunity for you to build something and race it and have fun with it.
Tyler also teaches basic car maintenance to members of his community. Now, the Fox 13 Dream Team arrives at Tyler's house during a birthday party for his nominator, wife, and Wrecked Neck co-founder, Sarisha.
Like, he's that person that just will give his shirt off his back. He does everything for everybody around him. And I felt like it was time for him to get something for him.
And Tyler has no idea we're coming.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Hi. How are you guys? We're looking for Tyler. Hi there. Tyler, how are you? I'm Amy Nay from Fox 13 News.
Nice
to meet you.
Hi, I'm Tony.
Hi. And Sarisha, we understand it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, but we are celebrating both of you today because we understand, Tyler, that you are so involved with this demolition derby community and that you help all these teens really build cars from the ground up, and you do so much for them with your own time and your resources. I want to introduce you a little bit more to Tony from Mountain America Credit Union.
Okay. It's so nice to meet a local hero.
Thank you.
It's just wonderful. And we know that most auto mechanics really love a good bouquet of flowers, but these are actually for your wife.
Oh, man. Now you've ruined my day.
Well, we heard that when you good folks got married, you didn't take time for a honeymoon.
No.
And so we wanted to surprise you with a little something that would allow you to get away. So we actually have $500 gift certificate to Zermatt, Utah, for something hopefully that will just allow you to get away on the weekend and have something local, but something exotic as well.
Oh my gosh.
And to help you with your many endeavors, and we've also heard that you've gone through some hard and challenging times lately.
Yeah.
We actually have $1,000
wow.
that we're giving to you to help you keep your good efforts going forward.
Thank you.
So thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun for us to meet you and to see, somebody doing this good work in their
you so
community. So really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
Yeah,
much.
thank you for your service to our
Yeah.
country.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the service to the community. So appreciated.
Thank you for the support. We definitely need it.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? That's great.
Way to go. Keep it up.
That's right. If you know somebody who deserves an uplifting surprise from the Fox 13 Dream Team, just go to fox13now.com/contests to nominate them. Kelly.
Allison.
Bob.
Allison.
72 degrees today here in Salt Lake City. Really feeling good right now still. We made it to the mid 80s today, so it was a warm day. We head into the next couple of hours. We will keep cooling down. 50s and 60s for most of the state overnight. We're already into the 50s right now for Heber, 50 degrees there, 59 for Eden. 69 degrees currently in Ogden, and for St. George currently 78. So here's what we can expect over the next couple of days. Some storms mainly off to our north Wednesday, Thursday, getting into late Friday, Saturday. We start to see a little more storm development across the Intermountain West, increasing clouds. We will see some better chances for some showers to develop this weekend also, along with the cool down. But let's talk about tomorrow at 7 a.m. We will cool just like we did this morning, mainly 50 to about 60 degrees for overnight temperatures. And then we're going to head into tomorrow afternoon. Mostly clear here across the state, although we'll have some clouds near the Idaho border and some clouds near the Arizona border Wednesday at 5 p.m. Many of us still around 80 degrees at that point. So we're above average tomorrow by about 10 degrees. We'll mainly keep some storms off to our north the next couple of days, getting into Saturday, Sunday, lingering into Monday. We're looking at increasing clouds here across the state, along with some scattered storms across the region. And then we're going to have our temperatures quite a bit cooler heading into next week compared to this week. So how does that break down storm-wise? Storm chances for Saturday in Ogden, widely scattered, but for Saturday night, Sunday, we're looking at scattered storms, widely scattered Sunday night and Monday. For Provo, your chance for storms also rather low on Saturday, but your best chances Saturday night through Monday with some scattered storms. And for the St. George area, You might also get a little bit of action heading into Saturday night and Sunday with some scattered showers in the forecast. So for St. George, you're around 90 through Friday, 80 on Saturday, 65 on Sunday, with your best chance for showers second half of the weekend. For Salt Lake, we've got a pretty big cool down. So we'll be 85 tomorrow. Then we'll see a little bit of relief for Thursday through Saturday, mid to upper 70s. Very comfortable there. Widely scattered storms on Saturday in Salt Lake, scattered storms on Sunday. 60s Sunday into next week. And our best chance for storms will be Saturday night and Sunday here in Salt Lake as well. After our 7-day forecast, we're getting into October. For our week 2 temperature outlook, days 8 to 14, the 4th of October through the 10th of October, below average temperatures here in Utah. So looks like the cooler weather will likely stick around. So enjoy tomorrow's sunny and 85.
10th ranked Utah will play at number 19 Oregon State on Friday night. The Utes are 4-0, thanks in large part to the defense. The offense needs to improve for the winning streak to continue.
We're just happy at the end of the day be 4-0, but definitely there's a lot of soul searching to do right now, especially have an offensive unit. We've seen what we could do. We know what we're capable of, but the numbers we've been putting up is something that we can't really be happy about.
In the passing game, we need things to open up so we can line up the blocks. And also in the run game, I have to be efficient along with the other guys in the room so they can respect the run and have to, not be one-dimensional.
The Cougars lost their first game of the season on Saturday against Kansas. In the past, as an independent, their loss was tough to take, but they're still in the Big 12 hunt going into Friday's game against Cincinnati.
Now that we're part of this conference, there's definitely a lot to play for. Other than your pride and what's on the schedule, we're 3-1 right now. So this isn't a time to panic, but this is a time to have a high sense of urgency to make sure that we're performing at our best. Let's make sure that we put ourselves in a better position for this game. I feel good about our preparation. I feel good about our matchup with Cincinnati, and I feel good about being at home.
Well, Jane Hedengren has already made a name for herself on the national running stage. The Timpview Junior has won national races on the track and in cross country. In fact, this month in California, she ran the fastest 3-mile ever by a high school girls cross country runner in the history of the United States.
It's Timpview versus Burning Champion. Who's it going to be across the line?
It was Jane Hedengren at a blazing 15 minutes and 32 seconds.
Fastest time in the U.S. for a high school girl.
And how cool is that?
It's really cool, but I think there's just so much more behind that time and just the story and those girls that were pushing me right there beside me and how awesome they are and how we get to empower each other every single day.
What a statement for the junior from Timpview in Utah in her first appearance at Woodbridge.
It was just affirming in the way that I know I've been working hard. It's just exciting going forward, and I'm just getting more full of belief in myself and that I can do hard things and I can work hard for myself and just really be able to pull it through and race against these top high-level athletes. Very grateful to have them beside me.
She's had some other great finishes in national races. 3 months ago, she passed 2 runners on the final stretch to win the girls' mile at the Brooks PR Invitational against some of the top runners in the country, setting a new personal best and meet record at 4:36.24.
Hedengren has taken advantage, and she's going to take the win.
You have quite the dramatic finishes sometimes, don't you?
I know, lately it's just been one after another, just very dramatic and funny at the end, just with the weaving and close finishes.
She's one of the top high school runners in the country, but she's worked hard to get here, and she has no plans of slowing down. She has the drive to be the best she can be.
That's something that I do for myself, and it's really cool because I'm at this point in my life where I have these really cool opportunities and the opportunity to work hard for myself and just be surrounded by such great people. So I think it's a reflection on others around me as well of who I am and how they've impacted me and the good that they've been for me. And then also I just have fallen in love with the process and setting goals and just seeing what I'm capable of.
Yeah, we'll have to keep a lookout for her in the future. She's going to defend her state cross-country championship in October, but her main goal is getting 2 nationals, the Nike Cross Nationals, and maybe win the thing.
I think she's on track, and she's so poised to not only continue being successful in running, but I think so many other things as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jess.
We'll be right back. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce's popularity is skyrocketing after superstar Taylor Swift, oh, there she is right there, sat in his box during Sunday's game. Swift's attendance brought a nearly 400% spike in Kelce jersey sales online. That put him in the top 5 of NFL players across Fanatics websites. Kelce and Swift are rumored to be dating, although neither have confirmed nor denied those reports.
I hope they are. I think they'd make a great couple. Yeah, he's an all-American guy.
Right? Yeah. Power couple, the ultimate power couple.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Well, I'll be watching the game, not on the field,
They
but
play
in the
Sunday night
stands.
against the New York Jets.
Do they?
In the
Yeah, we'll
box.
see if she's there.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's see.
Maybe
We'll see.
Zach Wilson will get to meet her.
Let's don't get that going.
Quick Ask is next. Young single.